The internet is amazing. At our fingertips, we have access to thousands of unique and valuable experiences. However, the internet is not created with everyone in mind. For those with disabilities that impair visibility, using the internet can be frustrating. Most of the websites we use today are filled with images. Behind the scenes, each image on a website has something called an alt attribute that provides a description of the image. Screen readers, used by those with impaired visibility to read out the contents of websites, use these alt attributes to describe images for those who cannot see them. However, many websites don't have these alt attributes, making the experience for those with screen readers worse on the internet. To test this, listen to a demo of a website that doesn't have any descriptions for its images. Do you know what is happening in the images?
Image. 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 Image.
altML is a Chrome extension that finds images without these alt attributes and uses machine learning to generate these alt attributes in real time. Now, let's hear what happens when altML is turned on.
Two young girls are standing in front of a window section. A brown dog is carrying a stick in its mouth. A woman in a white shirt is walking on a beach with a dog in the background. A group of people are posing for a picture.
altML analyzed those images and generated the captions you just heard using a machine learning model. This greatly improves the browsing experience for those that rely on screen readers. In altML Preferences panel, you can choose a preferred caption server, so if ours ever goes down, or if you want to host your own, the extension allows you to choose. altML is 100% open source, which means that all of our code is publicly hosted online for anyone to view and adapt on our GitHub page. As the stewards of a digital world, it is our responsibility to keep websites accessible for everyone.
Ooh, hello.
Hi.
My name is JP Kerrane,
I'm May Fulop.
And I'm Johnny Abraham.
and we're creating altML.
altML is a Chrome extension that finds images without these alt attributes and uses machine learning to generate them in real time. The Chrome extension searches for all images without alt tags and valid source tags and collects all the source links. Option 1. Chrome extension sends the image's source links over an HTTPS POST request using query strings in the URL. We created an Apache web server on a virtual machine instance using Google Cloud's compute engine. There is a PHP script that would run the model, generate a caption, and then send the HTTPS response. The Chrome extension would receive the generated caption and change the alt attributes of all images. Option 2, the Chrome extension sends a POST request to a Flask Python server. The Python server forwards the request to a caption API like cloudsite.ai and returns the response from the API to the Chrome extension. This method secures all private API keys from the extension so that it can be distributed. Option 3. The Chrome extension makes a direct request to a caption API like cloudsite.ai using API keys and parameters defined in the extension preferences. This method is usually faster but requires an API key to be set on initial setup when you are using the Chrome extension.
So now let's get into how the altML Chrome extension works specifically. First, when a web page loads, before the screener starts reading out content on the web page, altML injects JavaScript into the page that searches the images for ones that are missing alt attributes. Then, the Chrome extension contacts a caption server running the machine learning model with the image source. The machine learning model downloads the image, processes it, and returns the caption to the Chrome extension. The Chrome extension then adds the caption to the image. This entire process takes less than a few seconds, starting when the DOM content is loaded on the page. The user has complete control over what caption server the Chrome extension interacts with using an options menu. Because altML is open source, anyone can run their own caption server really easily. Right now, the extension is contacting the server using query string parameters in the URL. But we've also set up a Python Flask server that can interact with a caption server API like CloudSite.
The Chrome extension requires an accurate caption for an image that is generated in real time. Our machine learning backend generates that caption. Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence that requires computers to learn like humans do. They need to recognize patterns in data and improve over time as their experience grows. Machine learning algorithms can then be used to create predictions for new data. Our goal with our model was to analyze an image and create a sentence in proper English that would describe the objects and the actions in that image. We had to build, train, test, and then finally deploy our model over the last few weeks. First, we had to build it. We built our model in Python using Google's open source end-to-end machine learning platform, TensorFlow, and its built-in library, Keras. These help make building the algorithm easier. Our algorithm uses two neural networks, one to analyze the image and extract the feature, and one to create a sentence based on the features it receives from the previous neural network. The model that analyzes the image is built into Keras, and is called VGG16, or OxfordNet. It is already built, trained, and tested. The other model is a recurrent neural network that we had to build, train, and test ourselves. Once a recurrent neural network model was built using Keras, we had to train the model to create accurate captions. We used the Flickr 8K database, which had 8,000 images of common objects and contents, with 5 captions per image. It took quite a long time to train the model, as we had to go through every image it captioned multiple times. After we finished training, we saved the weights and structured the model so it'd be easy to reproduce and deploy later on. We tested our model using the BLUE score, which can measure the accuracy of the text generation. A good BLUE score is closer to 1, while a bad one is closer to 0. Our BLUE score was 0.597. This means that the model is fairly accurate, however, it could still be improved in the future. After we have made sure that the model is working properly, we now have to deploy it. We had to make a few alterations to the machine learning algorithm in order to deploy it on Google Cloud Platform. We created a JSON file that would hold all the current image links and captions. The machine learning algorithm was split into 2 Python scripts. One would always be running in the background and check for images without captions, and then generate the caption for that image. The other would be called and add the image links to JSON file, and then wait until all the images had captions generated, and then return the list of captions. How did we do this? Google allowed us to run virtual machines, which provides the functionality of a physical computer on their hardware through a compute engine. We use this to create an Apache web server on one of our virtual machines so that we could handle HTTP and HTTPS requests. We also created a PHP script that would run one Python script that was mentioned earlier with the image list provided by the Chrome extension, and then return the caption list. The PHP script would then send the caption list back to the Chrome extension, which could then alter the content of the web page.
Here are some of the lessons we learned. You really don't need to reinvent the wheel. We used a lot of resources to help us out when we were stuck. It's also important to set reasonable deadlines. Setting reasonable deadlines helped us a lot with keeping our team together. When we had a goal to work towards, it was easier to keep focused on the final product. When working together, especially when working 100% virtually, communication is key. Using software like Slack, GitHub, Discord, and Zoom, we've been able to keep organized. And on the more technical side, here's what we learned from using the Google Cloud Platform to deploy our backend.
Google Cloud is a variety of tools in the public cloud provided by Google for programmers to use. There are many benefits that we learned during our internship session of Google Cloud Platform. One, it is fairly cheap, and the cost is fixed, so that it doesn't depend how many times we call our API, it'll always be the same cost. Two, it can run constantly. While my machine may turn off in a power outage, or if I go to bed, it'll still be running on Google Cloud. Three, it is stable, and it can withstand an outage or another crash that a local computer may not be able to do. Four, it is scalable, and we can easily increase the number of cores in the CPU, increase the RAM, or even add more virtual machine instances if we so need.
Here's what we want to do in the future for altML. In the future, we really want to get this extension into the Chrome Web Store and the Edge Extension Store, because we really want to distribute this extension to the people who need it, and I think it'd be really awesome. We also want to improve the accuracy of our model with more data, specifically the MS COCO dataset with 22,000 more images. We feel like this can make our machine learning model captions a lot more higher quality. And we also want to upgrade the model to TensorFlow 2.0 and build an offline version that runs in the browser so the captions can be generated when there's no Wi-Fi. And lastly, we want to allow more methods for the extension to communicate with the caption server itself. Right now, the extension only supports using post requests with query strings in the URL. But eventually, we want to add support for posting the image itself so that the caption server can access images that are behind firewalls or behind permissions that only the client user can see, or just edge cases like that where you just want to send the image directly. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see any future updates or if you want to download this Chrome extension yourself, you can go to our GitHub page at github.com/saharshy29/altML. And if you have any questions, you can reach our emails. My email is hi@jameskerrane.com.
My email is jonathan.abraham3172@gmail.com.
My email is floppydonut@gmail.com.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.